Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Session 12 of our Fall 2016 Shaklee Strategies Forum. This morning we'll be talking about new directors and their takeoff plan. What do we do with new directors after they're on board and they're in their new rank and they're ready to go? So we'll be having three great speakers taking us through that process today, and two of them we would like to congratulate on their new ranks as well. Katie Odom is a new key coordinator, and we're so proud of her, and Harper Guerra has now increased her rank to senior key coordinator. So they will be leading us through this process this morning, along with their wonderful team member, executive coordinator Kristen Jakubowski. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. So this really is designed for you, the new director, the new business leader. So first we want to say congratulations. This is exciting. This is wonderful, and it's a great accomplishment, and you should be excited and celebrate and be thankful and we are thankful for you. So first, we just want to go through, now that we've congratulated you, we want to go through what our objectives are for today. And we want to, first we want to give you an outline of some of the new benefits of being a director. There are a lot of things that you did not have access to before you became a director that now you do. We want to give you the tools to reach your next goals, like the new directors conference and senior director, which also qualifies you for a Shaklee bonus card payment, which is really awesome. And we want to begin helping you work through the mindset of a leader, because that's what you are now. As a director, you are a business leader, and so there are lots of ways to learn more about having the mindset of leadership. We also want to give you some tips for navigating inevitable challenges, because all things that are wonderful have challenges, so we want to help you work through those. And we also want to give you some tangible next steps as you begin this exciting, rewarding, and inspiring journey. So we're so excited for this.
So as we think about becoming and reaching a director, it's important to first review some of the different resources that we have available. And I really think now Shaklee and our team and within the community of Shaklee has really had so many different opportunities to help you not only reach director, but go beyond director. And so one of the tools that we use a lot on our team is the 8 Weeks to Director series that we have, and that is archived on betterfuturestartstoday.com, and you can get a subscription to that. We also have Shaklee University. I love how easy Shaklee University is to access straight from the app. It makes it very easy to do and easy to walk through, a great resource. We have the new member appointments, and those will be attached. We have business cards, and then it's also important to really understand the compensation plan, at least up to coordinator. I remember when I first began in Shaklee, the compensation plan intimidated me a little bit, but then I really started to, setting aside some time to really understand it. And for those of you who really do understand the compensation plan, you can see how amazing our compensation plan is and how it's so amazing that it was patent. And that was because we have such an incredible opportunity with us. But if you feel overwhelmed by that as director, I was always told, like, always just know the rank ahead of you or the few ranks ahead of you and understand that, because if we don't understand it, how are we going to be able to help other people on our team understand it as well? So these are all fundamental key pieces of our business that will help us not only in leadership, but it will also help to duplicate yourself. As I've started to grow our business, one of the things that Harper has really taught me and that I'm really starting to see more and more of is the importance of duplicating ourselves in everything that we do. When I go to do something for our team, I want to make sure that I have something set that my team can use as well. And that really helps not only for my team to save time, but it ultimately helps me to save time too, for them to be able to use those resources.
And I think this slide is particularly, if we go back, this slide is particularly beneficial to those of you who have become directors very quickly. We have people who become directors in their first month, in their first 6 weeks, and sometimes that, that is very quick, and so, which is awesome, but there are things that sometimes you do need to go back to those basics that that were part of the process of getting to director that you may have missed because it went so quickly. So just to make sure that you have gone through the 8 weeks to director, gone through all these things, gotten your business card, like making sure you have those things in order, especially for those of you who have done it rather quickly, because the person you bring on, like Katie was saying with duplication, you want to make sure you know what you're inviting that new person to do. So I think that especially for people in that situation.
Well, that's a great reminder, and even these things we're going to go over on this slide, these terms, are so critical, again, for those people especially who came up quickly and might not have had the time to go through their whole back office and see what this is all about. But before I get into this, I will tell you this is all in your back office and available to you with definitions and explanations, and if you can't find those things, go to your upline and they can direct you to them. But there's a lot of great physical benefits when you hit director, and the first one that we're going to talk about is this AR $500, and you're saying, well, what is that? Well, that is your account receivable balance through Shaklee. And so basically when you become a director, Shaklee decides that they're going to go ahead and give you a monthly credit. This is applied to your Shaklee account. It's there for you to use however you'd like to use it, or you don't need to use it at all, but it is a nice bonus. So you receive a $500 credit each month, which can be used for payment of products or services until payment in kind can be made. I'm reading this straight from the description in our back office. One alternative to paying for your products with your AR balance is to pay with electronic funds transfer, and that's just another tool to be funds transferred straight out of your bank account. So you can go ahead and set that up. That does come with a fee, but it comes right out of your bonus check. Your AR balance is updated daily and shown on the myshaklee.com homepage. Price differential is something that's kind of a big topic we want to make sure we talk about. That's the difference that's between retail member pricing and director pricing. And we really like to focus on directors getting that pricing, because that is another perk of being a director, is gaining that extra price differential. Gift fulfillment is a very nice tool to use. You can go ahead and decide to pick items from a list that Shaklee has on the back office. It's just a drop-down list, and you pick an item, and you can choose to add that to somebody, one of your members' carts, so that when they put their order in, that gift is actually in their cart, and that is paid for by you through your account. So that will come off, and that does get counted toward your personal volume. So that's something that I just learned not that long ago. And then Power Bonus. Power Bonus is an amazing thing that I highly recommend you take full advantage of. Shaklee encourages you to accumulate points, and the way that you get those points is by signing on new members or new business builders. And there's a point value attached to each kind of step you're taking. So if it's a 50 PV order with a new customer, that's 1 point. If it's a 100 PV order, it is 2 points, and so on and so forth. And you accumulate those points within the first 3 months that you up in rank. What's exciting about that is that 15 point equals $150 bonus is unlimited. So you can do that as many times in your first 3 months as you want. When I first started, I was a quick director, like Harper was referring to, and I was signing on people pretty quickly, and I ended up earning 4 of those power bonus points, or 4 of those power bonuses, and that's a significant increase in your income, and it's immediate, and that's really nice.
$600.
Cash bonus is very, very appealing to many people who are starting their Shaklee business. So the nice thing also about that is that when you up and rank again, so when you duplicate your process and you grow a director, not only does your director get that pricing, but when you, I'm sorry, that bonus, but when you up and rank, you also get a new 3 months to go ahead and earn those power bonus points. So that's very exciting. So when we're talking,
build, I love how they build. So like for someone, I think for someone who joins and they become a director within the first month or two, that just the 3 months that they got from joining accumulate. So then you have all this extra time to get those power bonuses, which is really awesome.
Right, and how do you get there? You know, that really comes with some of the other training sessions that we've talked about, and really creating your plan and creating a dream board or a goal sheet. And, you know, every time you do reach a new goal, it is really critical to go ahead and re-evaluate the goals that you have set up. Again, especially if you're moving quickly, you might be reaching those goals quicker than you anticipated, and so it is very critical to go back and look at what you set out, what you did, and where you're going from there. I have a great short story about that. I was about 2 years into my business, and I finally got the courage to ask my husband, who was interesting at the beginning of my business, not very supportive, but I got the courage to ask him on a car trip, on a road trip, which I highly recommend if that's, you know, if you've got your husband cornered like that, that's the time to ask him questions. But anyways, I asked him the question of where would you like to be, and what type of goals would you like to see me meeting? I made that separation just to make sure that he didn't think there was work involved for him, but you know, it really was our business, and I wanted to hear what he had to say. So we set some goals, and we set a financial goal, we set a car payment goal, and we set a goal for a dream trip with Shaklee. And we also set a goal for some savings and a long-term goal to get him out of his summer teaching job so that we could travel all summer just on our Shaklee business. And, you know, we kind of chuckled as we set those goals thinking, yeah, that might be down the road. And within about 9 months of constant action and just working my Shaklee business day to day and following the lead of my upline and you know, just doing some work every day, I was able to revisit those goals and check off, let's see, 4 out of the 5 of them. We're still working toward getting John off for the summers, but you know, I want that to be a real physical reminder for you that when you put those goals in front of you and when you write them down and make them in front of you, put them on a dream board, put pictures to them, sit down and do this with your children and your family and invest them in the dream. And you know, that's when your mind kind of takes over and your mind shifts, and everything you do, every action step you take, every conversation becomes the means to the end and the means to those goals. And so that was very exciting for me. You know, I had to move up some goals, and I had to set some new ones. I remember calling Harper to say, you know, I think I might need to set some new goals because I've kind of reached all of them. And she said, I remember her saying, well, that's a good problem to have. So, you know, you want to have that vision in front of you because then it actualizes. It really does.
It is. I love when you share that. I think it is so powerful and so real. And I mean, for me, that concept of dreaming was huge. And so I love that, and to put those goals in front of you. But then we also need to figure out, okay, so I have these goals, like a new directors conference and a car bonus. Those are 2 specific ones that often come next. What do I need to do for those, and how do you understand what that looks like? And so to qualify for New Directors Conference, you need to accumulate 18,000 CV, car volume. I know we have a lot of V acronyms, so we're going to break it down, over 6 months in the first year of becoming director. So that's basically an average of 3,000 CV per month. And so, you know, a lot of times I hear going back, and we'll kind of break it down what car volume looks like in a minute, but I've had people ask, why car volume for New Directors Conference? This isn't for, you know, why does that matter? But it matters because Shaklee and our compensation plan always, always, always incents you to help others, whether it's in helping customers or helping business builders. Our compensation plan always does that. And so in order for you to earn NDC, the compensation plan doesn't want to discourage you from promoting someone to director or building someone to director. So it's a really, really good thing. So we'll break down what that looks like in a minute. And to qualify for the car bonus, you can become a senior director. So then you would have to have at least 3,000 PGV. A senior director is someone who has appointed another director, so you've duplicated yourself. And then your car bonus is 5,000 CV, which means that you have your 3,000 PGV and the 2,000 PGV from any director plus your own. So we're going to have a little graphic here to kind of help understand that. So if there's you and you have your 2,000, and then you have one director who has 2,000, so now you have 4,000 CV, and this is actually PGV, not PV, I'm sorry, but so you have 4,000 CV because you have your 2,000 and then you have 2,000 from your first director. So if you had this for 6 months, you would more than qualify for New Directors Conference. But then maybe you actually have 2 directors. So now this is one way that you have your 2,000, you have their 2,000, so that's 6,000 CV, and so that is qualifying you for the car payment. But maybe you only have that one director, but you have a good, which everyone's goal is to get to that 3,000 PV. So go ahead and click, and click, and click. So then, or you have just your director as a senior director, and you have 3,000 PGV. So now you're qualifying for both the car payment and you're qualifying for New Directors Conference. So hopefully that visual is a helpful explanation as this new part of the compensation plan that's really great is understood, so that you know when you put those dreams on paper, then you can know what the goals are that you're working towards.
And now if you're a person like me, all of those numbers and all those PV, OV, CV, all those things kind of jumble you up. And so this is really important here. You are not by yourself. You most certainly took on this business so that you could own your own business, but you are certainly not in this business by yourself. And that's critical, especially when you get to this new rank and you get to all these new things are coming and available to you. I strongly urge you to continue to have communication with your upline. It's imperative to your success. It's imperative to how you set your goals, because if you're not familiar with how this dream plan works and you're not familiar with how the rewards work, you might be creeping up on them with no idea. And it might be the difference between a couple hundred PV for you reaching that goal. But the person that can tell you that and the person that can lead you to that information is your upline. So it's very, very important, because this is what they got in this business for. It's exciting to lead a team. And this dream plan is set up so that your upline can benefit from your success as well. So we are very motivated to help our downline teams. And that goes from top down. It doesn't matter if you're first level or second level or where you are. If you need help, definitely reach out and ask those questions and re-listen to the training sessions, or come back and have a call with your upline, and have those questions ready, because let's face it, this is a business, and calls with your upline might be fun because you enjoy that person, but really getting down to the nitty-gritty and asking the questions that you need to know so that you can advance your business in the way and in the speed that you would like to is important, because nobody comes into this business knowing all of the answers. And the quicker that you can overcome that fear of asking questions, the better. I would always joke and say, I would ask people that I met in Shaklee and say, could I have your number, or could I friend you on Facebook? And I said, be careful, because I will use it. And I really do believe that was a large part of my of my success with Shaklee, especially early on, was that I was not afraid to reach out to somebody that I didn't really know and ask some questions and get their feedback and get a different opinion, and hear their story, because it does then it does help to advance you. Additionally, our job as an upline team is to make sure that everything is duplicatable, but that everything does not have to be started from scratch. You know, we have a great philosophy in Shaklee and a great community in Shaklee that believes in sharing. And, you know, any time that you are going to do an event or create a Facebook event or even create a graphic for a special you might be running, it is okay to ask for help. And it's okay if you see something that somebody else has created to reach out to that person, even if they're on a different team, and ask them, you know, I really enjoyed your graphic that I saw on your Facebook wall today. Is there any way that I could go ahead and grab that and use that too? You know, I firmly believe that, again, this is why businesses are growing more rapidly than they ever have before. It's because of this awesome community of people we have to share. And, you know, be mindful about how you are growing your business, because that becomes the model for your future downline team. And so if you are afraid to ask questions, you're going to have people below you who will be afraid to ask you questions. So making sure it's a business of duplication and really just working smarter and not harder. That's a concept that I have to remind myself of daily. Like, I need to make sure to make the most of my time, and how can I do that with the help of my team around me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, very well said. I think that's something our team has really honed in on in the last couple of months. As we've done Facebook events or we've had different ideas together, it's really rallying together so that there's not just one person responsible. I mean, I remember back in the day, years ago, where if I wanted to do a Facebook event, I had to create everything. I had to reinvent the wheel. I had to try and put everything together. And now we have so many people who can help you and work together, and we have so many resources available to really work, as Kristen said, work really smart. And if you don't have an active upline, find somebody, like Kristen said, find somebody in Shaklee. This is one of the reasons we love going to global, is that you can connect with other people in the field and you can do things together. So if you have a great idea, work together to accomplish that idea. And that's really going to save everybody time, but you're also going to realize there are different people on my team that have so many gifts in different areas that I do not have the gift of. And so when I can include them in an event, that is going to make the event even better, because it's going to add a different dynamic than if I was just doing something by myself. So as we think about reaching director, what do I do now? Sometimes that first month in director just very naturally happened. You hit it and you reached it, and it was a very exciting time. And then sometimes obstacles can come, or perhaps that an auto ship can be canceled, or there can be different setbacks in our business. So what do we do now that we are at that director rank, and how can we really utilize and achieve new directors and car payments and different things like that? And so one of the things is to always remember to do the things that got you to director. And I know, Kristen, you said this recently at our team meeting, and Kristen Cunningham gave me this advice about a year ago when I was really looking to grow my business. It was my year of trying to get to key, and she said, remember, what did you do when you tried to get to director? And I told her I was looking for new customers and I was looking for new builders. And she said, go back to that. And I think sometimes we reach director and then we forget that, because we're kind of in a maintenance mode. And what's important to realize in our business is we're always looking for those new people. We're always looking for those new customers. We're always looking for those new business partners. So continue to make lists. Continue to invite people. Continue to follow up and reach out to people. In fact, I just did this recently where I created a new list. I hadn't updated my prospect list in a while, so I went back and I created a brand new list. And our working folder, which is really important, because when our team has events, if you're like me, you forget sometimes who to invite, and this way I have something to go off of. Or when your team does a business prospect event, then you have, again, that list of names to go off of. And then use the PV plan resource from Shaklee University to plan out your month, or the 100 Days to Amazing. They have a great creating PV plan. This is a wonderful, especially if you're a numbers person and you love to plan ahead. These are great resources to really help you see how to achieve that 2,000 or 3,000 PV that you're looking for. And then create systems for your growing business.
I love the fact that connecting what we said earlier is that this continuing to do the things that you did as a director, like with every rank, it never stops. And that's why I love that power bonus, that like 3 months of power bonus comes with every single rank advancement, because and we can use that bonus as a reminder that we never stop inviting and we never stop connecting with new people. And so there's a benefit that goes along with that, but it's just a good reminder to us as we think about, as we're PV planning, as we're making all these plans. So just connecting that to what we talked about earlier.
Yes, definitely. And then really learn to create systems. So as I've been listening to podcasts and learning how to grow our business, one of the things that has really stood out to me is that when a potential prospect is interested in your business, they're going to want to see that they themselves can be successful. So if everything is all about one person knowing a lot, that's going to intimidate them. If they think that you know a ton about different things and you know how to, speak to people and teach people, that is going to really intimidate some people who won't feel that way. But if they see a system in place to help you grow your business, meaning we have training available online, that's a system. We have a follow-up system in place. We have working folders. We have planners. Like our team takes pictures of all of those things to show people what our system is for growing businesses. And it really becomes about that system and not about one specific person. And so people also want to know, what do you do with new builders? We have a whole binder that Ashley McDonald created specifically for new builders, and I love to use that resource. I love everything in there is really well laid out, and Harper created a really great document as well that goes through what to do your first, 7 days, I believe, in your business. Mm-hmm. And again, this is a duplicatable system where you can send this to a new builder. They have all of the different things they need to do to get started. And then, but you yourself have to be organized and have that system in place so that you can duplicate yourself as well. And then follow-up is really important. In fact, there's a saying that is, the fortune is in the follow-up. And this is very true because as a director, creating a base of customers and builders is really important. And a key piece to that will be how you service them and keep them informed and connected. I'll give you an example of this. I was following up with somebody recently, and she told me she wanted to return the laundry powder. And I could have just said to her, okay, I'll return it, no problem. Shaklee has 100% satisfaction. But instead, I said, may I ask, what aren't you liking? And she told me she didn't enjoy mixing the laundry powder with water before she washed her clothes. And I thought to myself, well, that's odd. Why is she mixing water with the laundry powder? Well, she must have read something about, I think, the basic H, where we dilute the basic H, and she had got mixed up. And this poor woman had thought that to wash her clothes, she had to dilute her laundry powder, and it was an extra step for her. And when I told her, oh, no, I think you might be getting mistaken with something else, she responded back, she felt silly, but she just said, oh, that's great. I'm keeping it then. And so it's just a perfect example of digging deeper and asking those questions to keep people satisfied, because sometimes it really is a simple question that you can ask that helps service them, or even maybe if it's something with the protein that you might need to help them with to tweak something, or taking their vitamins, different things like that. But again, that all goes back to learning to ask questions and learning to offer good customer support. And I especially think this is important as we head into the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas, to really take the time to give thanks to your customers and really show appreciation for them goes a long way. And then continue to learn about products, the company, the compensation plan, but we always want to be staying balanced between learning and doing. So sometimes, like Harper and I are very big into podcasts. We love podcasts because we always want to learn. But if we're just listening to podcasts all day and never applying anything, really it's a waste of time. So we want to make sure that we are actively learning and are always trying to become better people, but we're also wanting to make sure that we are focusing on those income-producing activities. So a couple of different tips on how to accomplish some of these. One of them is really thinking about sharing the business. And a key piece to that is listening to others and really asking questions and getting to understand and identify what people's needs are. Sometimes when a customer or potential customer might say, you know, I'm not able to afford Shaklee, I really would love to go on the products, but I just can't afford it. It's a great opportunity to really ask, well, okay, tell me about that. I'd love to help make these more affordable for you. I actually have 3 different options for you. And then walk them through ways where they can save with Earn While You Learn, or perhaps save with referrals, or join your business to be able to earn your products for free. Those are things that I share a lot with people because often that is what can sometimes keep people from trying Shaklee. Obtaining those referrals is really important in servicing your customers well. Just yesterday, I was trying to get to my health print goal, and I just started really texting a lot of people and just asking them for help and helping me to reach my goal. And I had one of my customers that then shared it with several of her family and friends, and I was so thankful for that. I was so thankful. Now I have several new people to follow up with. So even just thinking about how to use the health print is such an easy tool that some of your family and friends, some of your customers can easily share with somebody else. It only takes 5 minutes, and a lot of people have been doing fun raffles into winning a $5 or $10 Starbucks card, which, by the way, little side plug, right now on Groupon, you can actually get a Starbucks gift card for only $5, but it's worth $10. So that's just a fun little thing if you want to do a fun incentive for the health print, and then you basically get a $5 free Starbucks card. So getting creative with that, I think it's important to know that when you do incentives for your customers, you don't have to break the bank. People appreciate anything, and it doesn't have to be always huge things. It can be little things that just show people that you are thankful for them and that you appreciate them. The multi-purpose cream, a vitamin D, the Basic H, Scour Off, those are all very economical products that will go a long way to say thank you for referring people to me. And then looking for ways to really grow beyond 2,000, because as Harper and Kristen shared, there is a lot to there's a lot of benefits in reaching to 3,000. And really, when we start getting comfortable with 3,000, then the new directors conference and car bonuses, when we also help to break out a director, easily come into place as well. Some other tips as we reach director is managing time. This is probably one of the harder pieces for a lot of our business because we are all faced with lots of different demands. For some people, they work full-time. I mean, Harper and I, we have like people on our team that work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and they successfully grow a Shaklee business. And so it's just really learning to fit it in. But as Karen Beckley, who's a perfect example, she works full-time, very active in the community. She shares that it's what she wants to do. So when you want to do something, it's very easy to fit that in through your day. But this works differently for everybody. And it's important to find a system that works for you and whatever it is that you work best. For some people, they are morning people, and they will accomplish way more in the morning than they ever could at night. So they tend to wake up earlier and they tend to work better. But it's really a matter of prioritizing what matters and planning ahead. I do know that I feel way better when I have a plan of these are the things I want to do with Shaklee throughout my day, and I leave my planner out on my kitchen counter so that I'm looking at it throughout the day, because it might be even just a small reminder of reminding somebody about an upcoming auto ship, or sending somebody a thank you card. But those little things throughout the day, having them written down so that we remember to accomplish them, can really help. And then lastly, just thinking about developing leaders. So as you grow as a leader, thinking about how can I grow myself, and being coachable and open to learning from others. This is something that we do frequently, because I'm always looking for ways to better communicate with people, to better lead people, to better service people. So I'm going to find people out there who do that very well, and then I'm going to spend time learning from them. And for me as a busy mom, podcasts are the easiest thing to do, because I can listen to them while I'm cleaning or cooking. And then John Maxwell, he is very big into leaders develop leaders. And in order to be an effective leader, that's becoming the leader that we want to be. And I think next is when we reach director, it's really learning, as I said earlier, to face challenges, and Kristen's going to talk about that. But I think becoming a director can have its challenges. So how do you overcome those?
Well, right, amongst the perks, there are some pitfalls, and that's really just the nature of, quite frankly, any business, but especially a business that you are running on your own. And, being prepared for those challenges is especially important. And we've outlined a few of them here that are common. So the first one we talk about is how to generate PV at the end of the month. Well, I'm going to tell you, don't wait till the end of the month, because that's a sure...
Rule number one.
Right. The surefire way to end up short and panicked and really resent your business, because it's not fun. Anytime you've been caught at the end of the month with your pants down, it's not the easiest thing to get out of. And so starting at the beginning of the month and building that PV plan right away, even if you feel comfortable in where you're at and you're like, you know what, I think my month is going to be great, I don't need to plan. I do not recommend that. I recommend planning every single month, because there again is that projection for you. There is that goal and that outline in front of you that is going to really set the course for the rest of your month. And then when you get to those last couple days and even the last week of the month, you don't have to feel panicked. You're not surprised, because you've already determined where you were going to be or hope to be at the end of that month. So the end of the month is most certainly not the end of the month until the end of the month. So I recall very frequently calling Harper and asking her to just, I think I'm done for the month. It's the 20th. I don't have the PV that I need. I knew I wasn't going to make this goal. And, really reframing your thoughts and your mindset is huge, because so much can happen those last few days and even the last few hours of the month, and it really does have the potential to change your entire PV tracking for the month. So don't quit quick.
Well, and it is a mindset thing, like you said. It's a mindset of how we break down the month, and if we get to the 24th or 25th or whatever it is, and we're like, oh man, then if we tell ourselves we're done, then we're done. But really having that perspective of the month is not over till the end. So I think it is a mindset thing that we really have to know as you go into this. Okay, now I have to maintain this, not to know that as a mindset thing going into it.
Correct, but what I think you need to point out too is that mindset doesn't happen on demand. Mindset is something that we need to work on continually and consistently throughout, and that encompasses not just your business but your life too. In order to be a more positive person, you have to train your brain to be that way, and what we think about, we bring about, and if those things are more positive and abundant, then you will see more positivity and more abundance in your life. So don't wait until the end of the month to work on that mindset and to listen to a podcast on mindset and expect everything to change. That's something that's going to have to be continual. So sharing your goals with your customers and offering special deals to specific people is a nice thing. And that really is something, like Katie says, you tell those friends and family and those close members of yours that you need a little help, and you've got a personal goal, and you'd love if they could help you out with that, and you can walk them through that. When you feel that you've reached out to all of your friends, this is a very common misconception. You feel like you've really tapped everybody out. It's time to get out of your circle. It's time to start thinking about those other lists that you've made, those lists that you haven't really touched yet because you're kind of nervous about touching them. And we need to make sure that, like Katie said, you have created systems that are in place to reward and really thank those customers who have been diligent in ordering and supporting with you, supporting your business. Using Facebook and social media to connect with people from other areas of your life. And in another training session, they talked about sending happy birthday messages. And I remember when I started this thinking very disingenuous and feeling very false. It comes up, oh, Sally Joe, it's her birthday today. Well, I haven't talked to Sally Joe since I was 12, but I just happen to be friends with her on Facebook, and now you want me to send her a happy birthday message. But what I will tell you is that if you do just reach out to people like that and just send them a quick happy birthday, thinking about you on your day. I know it's been 30 years since we've spoken, but just wanted to say happy birthday. Some of those really do produce a conversation, and Sally Joe will write you back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe we haven't talked in 30 years. How's your family? I've been watching you on Facebook. What's going on? And that you never know when that can spur a conversation or get people asking you about what you're doing in your life, and then you can offer some information about what's been going on with your Shaklee business. Getting outside of your comfort zone, again, is something that I am actually working on right now. I'm going back to these basics and joining a few groups that I have been meaning to before, the library group and maybe a networking group, and introducing myself as if this is the first month of my business, because quite frankly, none of these people have heard about my business. So I might as well just go out there like I did when I first started and introduce and see what type of potential those type of venues have for you. And then when you feel stuck, this is a time for personal growth. I really feel like when you feel stuck, connecting with your team, connecting with your upline, if you've got a supportive upline, this is when that needs to happen. And again, this is not the time to teach yourself skills to use immediately, but it is a fine time to skill up and to listen to some podcasts or to watch an inspirational video on somebody who's grown a Shaklee business, and to fill yourself up with the things that motivate you to keep going. You will not stop in that moment of difficulty unless you give up. And you might not want to do that in-home event because your mind's not in the right place, but that's okay. You can skill up and you can train your brain and you can feed that 6 inches between your ears, and when you're feeling better, then it makes those one-to-one contacts and the in-home events, it makes them much more fun and much more doable because you've taken care of yourself. And as always, so many of our leaders always say, just stay in action. Don't let doubt eat you up. Do tasks every day for your Shaklee business, and as long as that is happening, that ball will continue to roll, and it will continue to produce, maybe not right now, but down the line. And so staying true to why you started this in the first place, I think, is so important. When it gets difficult, go back to your why. What's difficult? Well, maybe talking to people right now about the products is difficult. Okay, well, back up then. Is that why you started your Shaklee business? So that you could talk to people about Basic H? Maybe not. And if not, then what was the reason? Well, maybe your reason is you really loved the fact that you could just share your story of your health transformation and your kids' health transformation, and people listened, and people encouraged you, and people were happy about that. Then go back to that. Go back to having basic conversations and sharing what we know and what we love about Shaklee and why we started in the first place. Really reconnecting back with your why, I feel, is something that's that's so key when you're feeling down and you're feeling stuck. Focus on the positives, the possibilities, and the passion. Again, reworking your why, going back to your notebook and sitting down and saying, you know, what was the reason I did this in the first place, and what do I want from this, and revisiting your dream board, or, you know, talking to your spouse or your business partner about what did we want from this in the first place, and re-engaging with that. Leadership is forged in the flame of challenge, and I think that anything that's worth it is worth the work. And then just asking yourself, what lesson am I learning here? What am I going to learn from this so that the next time this happens, I've you know, figured out a way to grow from it. And that's something that, again, with our team, even getting together with a few Shaklee people and surrounding yourself with people who have been through these business challenges before, when you can get together with people like that and they normalize it and they give you suggestions on how to get over that hump, you know, it is just that. It's a temporary setback. So
I think, yeah, I mean, those are some wonderful tips of just getting through some of those challenges. And I think there's a whole lot of pieces that come together. I know for me, I don't know, I guess it was almost a year, I was a solid 2002 PV director. You know, I stayed there just kind of not really sure what I was doing, but I had enough people ordering, but I hadn't really made that understanding of like what really was here. And I think one of our passions in this podcast is like, as a director, like, this is just the beginning. Like, this is just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And if you can work through these challenges, and if you can work on these skills, there is so much more ahead. And when I saw that, I was at a January conference. It was in January, and I was really moved, and I did 3 things that catapulted my very solid 2002 PGV business to, you know, in less than 5 years to where I'm at. And it started with 3 key things. The first one, like we talked about, was setting goals. And like was talked about. The second one was managing my time and setting aside specific time to work. But the third one was personal development, which is something I have really been so grateful to have been challenged to do. And that's what we want to talk a little bit about here. And like Kristen said, this is not something that that you achieve. This is something that you're always working on. And we have put together a list of a few personal development resources. Like Katie was saying, like, we love our podcasts. So we have a handful of podcasts that we felt like, and I'm going to post this document on Learning from the Masters right after this, but I think that we chose some that were specifically great for this season of your business. And like Katie was saying, it is a balance. We can't spend all of our time doing personal development because we have to get out there and do the activities that are going to build our business. But making the most of your time, I listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm working out or washing dishes or driving in the car somewhere on a you know, to get somewhere, to make the most of my time. And so we have Michael Hyatt and Shalene Johnson, Bob Heilig, a few specific podcasts, because it can be overwhelming to like, okay, well, there's a lot of personal development out there. What do I do? We have a list of some books, some videos, some things that will help you. The next thing is to commit to this strategy forum. We offer this weekly training, and it's archived for anyone who is working or can't make it. But this is a valuable opportunity, and we are very thankful. For our team, we talk to our teams about that there is this great resource that is there weekly for you to reconnect. There's 2 pieces. There's this piece where we all come together, all of us, to come together and have a time to reconnect, to talk about our business, to focus on things to help us grow. And then and all of this, so we have this community here, but we also have these opportunities to learn. And then really committing to events. And that can be big events, like a Super Saturday, or it can be even small events. If your team is having a team meeting, or if there is a local event that you can plug into, plugging into that, being part of that community, connecting with other people who are in Shaklee, and also just being re-engaged in your passion, I think is really important, but really connecting with those events, because those events will make a difference in your business. And I think even as we were talking about how-to skills, we talked about, like, how do I share the business? And if you're not confident about sharing the business, and you're not confident about even talking to someone about a health concern, there's a huge factor in listening to others do it. So there are so many resources on A Better Future Starts Today and the Better Health. If you have a subscription to that, to listen and to go to these events and listen and hear someone else share. And that is a great way for us to learn. So it's a huge piece. That's why they are important. Like, these are tools that you have to succeed. And like Katie said, which was really important to remember, that this does not replace, like, the activities. Like, we have to make sure we are spending time and focusing time on our income producing activities, our inviting and our closing and our events and our sharing, but making this a priority as well in between those things. There are also a few other specific resources I just want to mention. On Better Future Starts Today, we do have two specific sessions. We talked about the 8 weeks to director, but we also have the journey to executive coordinator, which kind of goes through some of those next steps. We have 100 days to amazing, and in the addendum, Charlene Fike mentioned on a training we had, the Matrix 24 training. That's a great opportunity to connect there. There is a website called presidentialmasterbuilders.com, and that is a lot of our master coordinators, and they have some three-way calls that you can listen to, some different resources to plug into. So hopefully that's some tools that you can put in your toolbox to really help you to continue to grow and thrive in this business.
So some important things to remember is that some months are going to be more challenging than others. And as Kristen and Harper talked about, a lot of that really does come down to your mindset, though, because, for example, some people could look at November and December and think, oh, it's the holidays, this is going to be a really tough time. Or you can look at it as, it's the holidays, this is going to be a great time and a great opportunity to be able to share with people that, as Harper talked about with our team, you may only see once every 6 months or maybe even once a year. It's a great opportunity to get creative. Sarah Robbins right now she wrote the book Rock Your Network Marketing, and she has been posting videos, I think about every week, on successful tips to grow your business in the upcoming holiday season. Great videos. They're very short, and I'm learning a lot too on how to really help grow your business. A lot of it is planning ahead of time, and again, as we approach Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, think of ways to stand apart from everybody else, because everybody else is going to be doing a Black Friday special, a Cyber Monday deal, which those are great. But one of the things our team is going to do is really focus on giving thanks to our customers and doing a big customer appreciation day where we really just thank them for being our customers, and then we do some really fun giveaways. And that's something that anybody could create and really hone in on how to really give thanks to people. And that will set you apart from every other person every other company right now that's doing specials. And then focusing on activities and not results. This is so important, and this can be really hard, but it's important to remember that the results often come later. And I was even just speaking to somebody on my team yesterday, and they were feeling a little discouraged, and we both know that to continue to persevere and keep at it. And sure enough, that person got an interest in the business last night after feeling discouraged for a season. And just to remember that there are seasons where they will be a little bit harder, but that means you're that much closer to a really good season happening. And so And part of that, again, is the mindset and staying consistent with that activity. Because a lot of times, that activity we do sometimes doesn't show up for 3 months. I've seen that time and time again. And then just to remember to welcome the challenges. That's where we grow. And that's where we tend to really develop our leadership skills. And I've often found that I have to go through difficult circumstances to help my team who go through those circumstances. So remember that as we're facing a difficulty or we're facing a challenge in our business, or perhaps we're not where we want to be, that's going to ultimately help somebody on our team who may feel that way as well, and to be able to encourage them in that process.
Excellent.
So I think so we've given you a lot. So what are some specific action steps that you can do moving forward? I think the first thing is to make sure you have completed the items on the list before we proceed. Please review some of the back end stuff, but don't feel like you have to do that all right away. But just make sure that those things are on your list as you kind of think through the things that you want to accomplish. But because we don't want to leave out, the next really important thing is to create your PV plan. Make sure that you have looked at the Shaklee University tools. We have some webinars on Better Future Starts Today. But create a plan. Make sure that you have your plan ready, and thinking about all the things that were brought up here about your plan and about starting the month strong, and put that plan together so that you know exactly what you need to do to get to your next goal. Update your list, like Katie was saying. Keep your list updated, your list of names. Update your goals and your dreams, and really think outside of what it is that is next for you and the things that you want to work for. Setting up a strategy session with your upline or a coaching circle to follow up on this webinar. Talk to people about what it was that stood out to you. Discussing things like this is very powerful for us retaining what it was that stood out to us, and share at least 3 things that stood out to you in your new adventure as a director. I think schedule time to invest in personal development. To think about your new position as more than just director, because you are a business leader. That is a powerful title, as a business leader. And so we, as business leaders, we want to continue to grow in our personal development. This is something that it doesn't end with a different rank. This is something that is a place to always be growing. And then the last thing is get ready. Really, truly, this is only the beginning of something completely amazing. And we are so excited to be able to share these things with you, as you really are just beginning this incredible Shaklee journey.
Thank you, Harper. And we've assembled a couple of slides on addendum for everybody. Over this morning, Harper, Katie, and Kristen have talked about perseverance. That's come up a number of times, and mindset. So we made a list of, there's some really excellent webinars that we have done in the recent past. One with Margaret Trosky, coordinator, about perseverance. There's another one you'll see here, all in 100 Days to Amazing, on time and time management. There's one on closing and next steps. But the one I want to underline a bit is that came up anytime you talk about the challenges that we face at any time in our Shaklee businesses when we, quote, run out of people, and we can't keep going back to the same people over and over. There is an excellent session called Customer Incentives and Rewards. It's 100 Days to Amazing, number 5. And what that points out is there's only a finite number of people any of us can know ourselves, even those of us who have large circles of influence. But think about, to get to director, you're going to have probably somewhere around 20 or 30 customers, and every one of those customers has a mother, they have a next door neighbor, they have a best friend, they have a co-worker. And what that session points out is how to create incentives and rewards for people to take the time to pay forward to a friend. good health that's come to them, good things that they've learned from Shaklee to pay it forward. And that's when your business really explodes, and you go from an arithmetic kind of a growth to a really multiplication kind of a growth. There's the Creating 2000 PV Plan. Excellent session by Carolyn Whiteman on the profession of network marketing to remind us what an amazing business format we have. And here are some more other sessions. So I just want you to see we have a lot of things here in our resource material for you. Plus, I just want to thank Harper and Katie and Kristen, because they've also created a sheet for us, which they are archiving we'll file at Learning from the Masters Facebook page, and it has a lot of the resources that they've mentioned here with podcasts and other resources. So, ladies, thank you so much for today. Are there special questions that we want to cover? A lot of questions came up around pricing, and when you become a director, you are now eligible for distributor pricing, DP pricing. I personally do not recommend ever giving that to people prior to that. They can get it back in a bonus if you want to set it up that way, but I do not recommend giving DP pricing. That is a privilege of becoming a director, for those who asked about that. Harper, you mentioned that you're going to file your podcast resource sheet. Would you also put your first 7 days in there? I think it may be there already, but if you put it with this, then we'll file it right along with this. With this,
I already posted the resources on the Learning from the Masters too, but I'll email this to you also.
Mm-hmm. What took you so long? Okay, very good. so then we want to show you what's coming up. This was an exceptional session today, and we are so grateful for it, because this now will be not only archived with our strategy forum sessions from fall of 2016, but it will be in a separate space as well that Chris has created with, there's also a list there now. He's starting to archive these video stories of that are newer and in that betterhealthin31days.net. We want to tell you we've got 2 more sessions coming up before the end of this semester. That would be in December. We've been, every month we focus on a product collection, and in December, as we enter the darkest days of the year, we really have some remarkable products for stress, for energy, and for moods. And that will be a really good session. Hopefully Jean and Angie will be able to lead us with that. And then we will close up with a session that Becky and her team are going to put together called Creating Systems is Where It's At. And as I was thinking about this as we were sharing our session this morning, is that there are certain skills to learn in our business, skills of inviting and skills of presenting and how to use social media, and so there's skills to be learned. But when you take those skills and you put them together into a system of what resources you're going to use when you reach out to new people, when you are developing new customers, when you are developing new business partners, when you are following up and you know what you're going to use, when you're going to use it, how Becky is brilliant at that. And she has 7 systems that she and her team have put together and will share with us, because we will then have a 4-week break until we return in early January. And when we come back, that gives you enough time to enjoy your holidays and get your system set up so you can hit the ground running, because come January, the company will introduce the new locations for the dream trips, and they will be very special coming up in the coming year. So a lot of new things that we can expect around that. So any other questions, Becky, we need, or Francine, we need to navigate?
I think did you see any, Francine? I think we've covered them.
Yeah, I think we covered all the questions. Lots of kudos to Harper and Katie and Kristen. So good. Yes, great information.
Good. Thank you, everybody. And so we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving and time with your family and friends and your customers and your business teams. It's just a great time to remind us all how grateful we are for the business we get to have and the freedom that we have and the flexibility. And so we're grateful for all of you for joining us every week. Watch Learning from the Masters. We'll be coming back for 2 Tuesday sessions in December, but we're not sure what days we're going to be doing this come January, so watch Learning from the Masters. We'll post everything there. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, training team. Again, that was just wonderful today.
Happy Thanksgiving.
There you go. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, we're going to jump right in because we have great information for you today. These, just a reminder about the Shaklee November specials. There is actually one geared toward kids, and that's the one that's on the screen now. People are going to save $10, and so the sale price for them is $80.05. And you can see over here it's got the Mighty Smarts, the Incredivites, and the Chewable C. And then the next one, this is good through November 30th, is going to be more towards adults. And they're going to be getting the Nutrifuron, the Vitalized Immunity, and then a discount on the Defend and Resist. So this one, it's kind of written differently than the other one, but this one, they are saving $12. So their member price is going to be $66.20. And the thing to remember is you do need to put in these item codes to get this deal. They couldn't put each of those items in separately and get this discount. So be sure you let them know this, or if you're ordering for them, be sure that you put in this item code, and I'll show you the first slide again. So this is the item code for English, and one of the reasons they're putting that in for English is because there are these cool worksheets, so they could be in Spanish or English, and just little activity things that are fun to do with kids. And I just think this is a wonderful addition. I think this is one of Heather Chastain's contributions, and I just love it. And we hope that she does more things like this, just to make our specials even that much more appealing to people. This is a great slide that Angie did, and she couldn't be on this morning. Excuse me, but she had set a goal for herself. You can see at the bottom, her personal goal was to sell 10 kid packs and 5 immunity packs, 5 of the adult packs, and those little boxes were like where she could check off. When she reaches her goal, she's going to have 790 more PV. A lot of it will be new because the people that she's targeting, these are going to be new products for them. And she didn't even have to, the bonus is she didn't have to pay for these specials. These are things that the company is doing anyway. So just look at the top there. You can see the discounted price for the kids. Oh, so maybe that, oh yeah, so what I showed you the first, on the very first slide, that was not the discounted price. So it's $70.05 on the first pack, and then $66.20 on the adult pack. And you can just see there.
This is great.
Yeah, you can just see how that all adds up. If she were to sell, 10 of the Super Kids pack and 5 of the, well, those are both the kid packs, I guess, on that side, and then 5 and 10, if you were able to do that. We still have plenty of time, you guys. Today's the 15th, so that we still have 15 more days.
Definitely.
The month.
Yeah. And Becky, one of the things that I wanted to mention about this is that there was a time when Shaklee was doing these promotions fairly regularly, and Susan, who will be on I probably should unmute her. Susan, who will be on in a minute if I had unmute her. Let's see, where is she? One of the points she was making is that when we have these promotions, one of the best benefits of it is it gives us a reason to call our customers, to contact them and give them a deal. I mean, these are good deals too. So this is a really great time to connect with folks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for putting that in there, Barb.
I'll go find her.
Okay. I think she's unmuted. I think she's good to go.
Hi, Francine. Okay, good.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Oh, there she
Good,
is.
good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
You're all set to go then, Susan. Okay,
Real
super.
quick, though, before we get to hear Susan's awesome plan and strategy, we have the slide about Margaret, and I found a quote that I think really summarizes this nicely. It was by Napoleon, actually. It says, "There is no such thing as an accident. It is fate misnamed." And that is kind of what happened with Margaret. Margaret was just being a great team player and helping out Becky and myself with a business event that we were doing. She was going to make a 5-minute video, a Facebook Live video. It was her very first. She was so excited, and about what Shaklee means to her, what her Shaklee business means to her. So Margaret ended up broadcasting live from her personal Facebook page, reached I don't know how many people. It was crazy. And
2,600 views.
2,600 views, my goodness. And it ended up being a 42-minute video because Margaret really spoke from her heart. And, you know, what she talked about in this video was just what this Shaklee business has meant to her and has enabled her to do, and how, you know, just what her original why started out being and her purpose started out being has just changed her life, and she has touched so many other lives in the process. So because Margaret has this video now, we can all use this to share in a variety of ways, and that's what's so cool about this is even though it was intended to be for a business video, this is something you could share with a friend who, you know, maybe you would like to join your team and they think it's just all about selling vitamins, and you could share this story from her heart and talk about how it becomes so much bigger than any of us can possibly imagine. You know, be great for a Learn and Earn program, business evaluation, sharing with another business event you're doing. It's a great story. We talk about sharing our stories, and she certainly has a powerful one. So this is a great one to use.
Awesome.
And in fact, that Chris has started archiving these video stories at betterfuturestartstoday.net, and that's where we can find those very easily. And today, at the end of the session, we also made a couple of slides of addenda of where you find things, so it should be very helpful. So good, thank you. That was
Great.
good. And there's Susan with her great idea.
Susan.
Hi, everyone.
Susan. Hi, Susan. I'm so excited you're here because I saw your great idea on Facebook, and you were so generous to share with me yesterday, and then you said, wait, I'm talking on the training. So here you are. Fabulous.
Here I am. So really quick, and I'm echoing on my end. Am I echoing with all of you as well?
You're fine.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, I will just keep going then. So anyhow, yeah, a few years ago, I did an in-home event with for a holiday market and invited other vendors to my event. Super excited about it, invited them, did not charge them, and expected them all to invite people. And they didn't. So, I decorated my house, cleaned it, moved furniture so everyone could be there, and maybe one other vendor brought a couple people. So I was kind of disillusioned with that, and bounced back a few years later. And the other day I was listening to something, and I thought, maybe I could I don't have anything planned for the holidays. I better get my butt in gear. And I thought, maybe I could do a group, not an event, but more like a temporary holiday group, inviting vendors, and put some guidelines in place. So that's what I did. I had to I had to decide which ones would not be competitive with Shaklee, so I had to kind of be selective with who I was picking. And this is who I chose. I reached out to all these other reps. I even, Usborne Books, I just got on their website and emailed them and said, could you give me one in the area? So I didn't even know them. But that. And then you can look on Facebook and kind of look at the people and see who you think might be a good fit. So it's kind of nice. Anyhow, I reached out to them, and of course, like last time, nobody was like, oh, I'm not sure. Let me think about it. Everyone was like, oh, I would love to. Thank you so much for inviting me. So I created a Facebook group thread with these people and started the process. And with the help of Julie Schmid last Thursday night, helping me create this graphic, which was painful for me, but I got through it. I provided that to the group, and what I did was, and then I posted it the next day. And so I let the people know, see, look at my post, you can use all of it, some of it, or do your own. But I'm kind of, remember the people that are in the group, they're not my Shaklee team or business leaders, and I have no idea their training or anything. So I'm kind of really coaching them through all this and how I want it to be since I invited them to the group. Anyhow, so this was my post, and I targeted no more waiting in lines or searching for the gift, comfort of your home, and all these bullet points. Gotten some great attention on my post. And so then what I did was, after that, I created the group. I'm making it a temporary group, like I said. I'll explain later why I'm doing it through the end of December. But so then this is where my details of the group is. The convenient one-stop shop, if you don't have time or energy. Again, kind of highlighting some of the great reasons to be in our group, and continuing to say exclusive deals for our guests. Like some of our members, they're not going to get the deals if they aren't in the group, Then here's my welcome post that I pinned to the top of the page, welcoming everyone. I also put, you don't see it there, but I had also put get to know the vendors and scroll down while we each share one of our favorite holiday traditions, because I'm trying to create kind of a personal connection. They can put a face with the name and something fun to kind of get it going while everyone adds their guests to the group.
That's brilliant.
So I will tell you, and what I did was I also typed up these guidelines for my vendors, right? And I messaged them to the group. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I really want to put here, and letting them know, not only put it on Facebook, put it in your business pages, Instagram, text, email. And again, we all know that because of our amazing training and how we share with each other, but I don't know if they know all this stuff. So I realized I need to kind of help them invite and promote. I'm also letting them know here we all need to promote the group and invite our friends so it's beneficial to all of us, right? And I will tell you why in a minute, why then I inserted they had to have a 5-guest minimum. But
oh, smart.
Yeah, that wasn't something I thought of till after, and I'll tell you why. But so these are my guidelines. I don't know if you want me to read through them or just you can see that I decided, okay, I had to think this out. Every vendor is allowed 1 post a day because I don't want one vendor posting 5 times. We don't want our guests, because there's 6 vendors, if each of us posted 3 times, they're going to get 18 notifications a day. So I put that maximum was 1 post. They don't have to post every day, but they can if they want to. Also, I realized in order not to create like a traffic jam of Facebook posts, and I'm going to have to space it out. Kind of like you do in events where people are slotted times. So I thought, wow, I don't know these people. I don't know their schedules. How am I going to do it? And so I decided to create 2 time frames, like from the 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. time frame and a 2 p.m. to a 9 p.m. time frame. And so I've scheduled each of them 3 in each time slot. And then I just, ask them to please respect each other. And if someone else just put up a post, wait a half hour or so. And so that post gets some attention from the guests and all. So I'm trying to make it go as smoothly as possible and explain my reasons to my ladies, and hoping everyone, understands it and abides by it. So, and also even the liking and the comment, I wanted to understand. I told them in our Facebook group, let's have fun building each other up and making this a great event, not only for our guests, but for each of us. So I'm wanting it to be, I want our guests to see it like we're a community. We're not competing against each other to win, the most sales or whatever. We want to support each other. So I'm trying to show that in here, like, please comment on at least 2 of the posts per day and like the rest of them. I don't want anyone in the group being very selfish and all about them, basically, because again, I don't really know my people. So that's
These are so smart, Susan. So these are specific guidelines for the vendors.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure people understand that this wasn't guidelines for your event, for the guests. No. This is for the vendors. Yes,
this is something I typed up and sent to all my vendors. And I even said, once you've reviewed them, let me know. Like, I'm serious because of my experience before. So then this was, let's see, again, I'm letting them all know, since I marketed as exclusive deals in this event, everyone needs to honor that and stand in integrity with at least one special they're going to offer. They can offer multiple if they want, but everyone needs to do one. Just as a reminder. And then keep in mind, I realized I needed to make sure this was not a place to be posting, oh, please join my business. Here's a great opportunity if you want to make more money. That's for all of us to have with personal conversations as people want to know more about our products, and we take that offline. So again, just wanted to make that clear to my vendors. This was just my posting schedule I gave them, which I think I kind of went through. And then I said we can alternate weeks, and we can alternate every week, and also use the Facebook message thread. We can swap with each other. So trying to make them all understand we can all work together and help each other out, but want to keep the flow of our posts kind of a simple, steady flow, like I mentioned before.
Susan, one thing I saw on your video, I was watching your video from this vendor event, and I'd love for you to just comment why you chose the dates. You did, I think, November 14th, yesterday, through December 30th, and I thought that was an interesting point. If you could kind of tell them why you chose that timeline.
Sure, yeah, and so yesterday, to kick off the group, I did a Facebook Live event, and kind of explaining some things to them, but also saying, why am I doing it till December 31st, and why now? First of all, why now? We know people are starting to shop. It's Black Friday's coming up. But I said, December 31st, some of these vendors might have clearance items or end-of-the-year discounts that they want to offer, and you're going to miss out. And I said, personally, I'm going to be talking about healthy weight, maintaining healthy weight, weight loss, and healthy cleanses. Prepare, as we know that New Year's resolution's coming up. So I said, you all are welcome to leave the group whenever you want, but you might miss out. So I'm kind of, wanted to make sure, and I'm trying to get my vendors and guests to make sure they go watch that video, because I think, so anyhow, and that's why I titled the video what I titled it, Why December 31st, hoping that would get people to watch it.
I thought that was really smart.
Yeah, and so then the other thing is, and by the way, one of the other vendors I never even told her my experience with my in-home event before, but I saw her outside and we were talking, and she told me she had the exact same thing happen to her last year. So that's why I really knew, okay, I know I need to have guidelines and stick to them. So when I invited all my, made it clear to them, everyone needs to invite people and promote it, and let me know after you read the guidelines, and everybody was in and said, yes, I'm in. Okay, so I shared the graphic with them last Thursday night. I posted it Friday morning. I messaged them all to say, look at my post, use what you want or make your own. So, and by the way, I did not add them to the group. I had created the group, and I thought I'm just kind of watching. So come Saturday afternoon, I still hadn't seen anybody post it. So I thought, okay, I need to put a message out there without sounding like a drill sergeant. And I said, okay, hey everyone, look at all the great attention I'm getting on my post. I am so excited for this group. As soon as you have 5 guests who want to be in the group, let me know, and then I will add you, the vendor, to the group. So I knew I needed to do that, and I needed it, and they were like, so they're all on it. It was kind of a slow process. Some people were like, oh, okay, I'll get to that Monday or this weekend. And I thought, that's good, because I know had I already put them in the group, see, they would have seen I had 30 people in the group, because I have a lot of Shaklee business leaders who want to watch it, but they would have been like, oh, they would have slacked, and it wouldn't have been as important because, wow, look at all the guests. So I learned my lesson before, and so I have stuck to it.
Good for you.
The last couple of days I've been messaging them whenever anyone joins. I'm like, oh, great. Osborne Gifts is in the group. Thanks so much. And she's got her 5. So, I had one of the ladies message yesterday and say, okay, so just to get this right, am I right that I've got one person interested right now, but so I can't add her until I'm in the group with 5? And I just answered, yes, that's correct. So yes, let me know as soon as you've got them.
Right.
And my daughter Tara is so good. She's helping. She's like, Mom, don't keep giving them. I've given them lots of ideas. I've told them how I've done it, and someone else has given ideas, so they know. And now the pressure's on, because all of the vendors are in the group except one. And in all honesty, I wanted it to flow more nicer. I wanted them all to be in by Saturday with all of their welcome posts up and going. But again, next year I can remember. I can.
I just want to make a comment here about working with vendors. This is brilliant, Susan. Is that home businesses are very popular, and there's a million different things that people sell. And when you work with vendors, sometimes they become a really good fishing hole for business partners in Shaklee, because you know that they're entrepreneurial, you know they're interested in earning money, and they may or may not be selling a product line that resonates with their values. And so we never put their product line down. We always show respect, but making these connections only can be, nothing but good things can come from it. Very, very well done, Susan. Thank you for that. That's a great idea coming into this. Oh, you're smart. I want to mention, Becky, before you start, today we are doing a very special session that is designed for new directors, so that, how many times have we heard people say, I'm so afraid, what am I going to do if someone says no, and how am I going to feel when I ask them about the business? But that is quickly replaced by the next fear, which is, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if someone says yes? And so, that's why we created the 8 Weeks to Director series, so you know exactly the steps, step by step, basic skills to learn. But it happens again, doesn't it, when people become a director? It's like, oh gosh, now I'm a director. Am I going to be able to hold it? Now what do I want to do with it? And Harper Guerra and Katie Odom and Kristen Jakubowski have put together a fabulous program this morning for us that will become a standalone. So, Becky, when we get to the segment where Harper begins, instead of a 3-2-1 audible, we'll do a 3-2-1 silent, and that makes it easier for Chris to make the cut. So everybody, don't be concerned when you hear this utter silence. We're preparing, because we will then do a cut and have that segment of the standalone. It'll be something you can give every new director that you develop. It'll be a wonderful guideline for them. So thank you in advance to Harper, Katie, and Kristen. And so, Becky, over to you.
All right, and I was going to have Francine introduce this morning. So just a silent 3-2-1 Francine, I guess, and then we'll go through these first two slides before they start.
Okay.